Hey, hello again everybody, Sebastian Keynes here with another Watch of Realms video. In this presentation of Forerunner news, we'll go ahead and I'm going to go through some of the updates, some of the new stuff that we're going to see here in Forerunner server. Eventually, some of this will eventually get into global because these are modifications that the developers are making. There was a major thing going on with Guild Wars, and before I get into that, let's just get some of the stuff out of the way, because then we can emphasize what's going on with guild versus guild between season 5 and season 6. Okay, now when it comes to gear, fortunately, finally, if for some reason we get a bad ancient mythic or variant mythic gear, something we're not going to use, we're going to be able to sell it. And if we sell it, we're going to get something in return. And this is something that we've been asking the developers now for a while, because I have pieces, ancient pieces that I'm not going to use. They have crap substats, so it just does not match what I need for a specific piece, right? So what they're going to do essentially is that we're going to get any one of the 3 type of spirits that we have in the game back for selling that type of gear. We can get bullions, we can get shards, and gear recasting hammers. Okay, for shards for gear recasting hammers. I see this as a benefit. So at least we're getting something for getting a crap roll, but at least now we don't have to hold on to those pieces if we need them. Now, if you for some reason did sell your ancient pieces, apparently you're going to get some of that back. You're going to get a chest in your mail. I guess it's going to be RNG on what you get, but somehow they're able to track as to how many variant pieces you have sold, and so you're going to get something in return for that. Also, one of the things that I rather like about this, and is something that we've been asking, is some type of mark to tell us if our heroes are not geared before we start our battle. So they're going to add that. See here on number 3, they're going to add a new mark to the team interface to indicate heroes now wearing all 5 gear pieces. Artifacts, that's another thing. I don't think that we'll be able to make sure that they have an artifact, but we'll be able to tell if it's something missing. They added a thumbs up label to the hero gear interface. Okay, that's fine. At least we'll be able to see what type of gear they may have on there. The Void Rift, they're actually going to change the requirement for Epilogue stage 5 and 6. They're going to change that from hard difficulty to nightmare difficulty. And yes, a lot of that has to do with the difficulty of the stages. So I'm okay with this change. It's not a big deal. And for all of you that have completed the epilogue, you're going to get an exclusive avatar border as a reward. The other thing that is coming is finally we're going to get chapter 10. So for those of us that have been asking for new content, that they're going to throw us at this now, it's going to be probably difficult. It's going to be challenging, maybe on par with what chapter 9 did, the second part of chapter 9, but at least you'll have something to look forward to. After you clear stages 18 of Gear Raid 1, 2, and 3, the last slot of the Dwarves Association will now offer specific items. And so I welcome this change. This is like you take the market and you improve it based on the gameplay, on your gameplay. So there is another game out there that has a, of the similar genre that could take an example from this. So you're going to get the rare summoning crystal. So we knew that, we get those. But now you're going to get a chance to get a mythic extra drop, some stamina, a huge stamina potion, shards for a legendary summoning crystal, a shard for an ancient summoning crystal, a shard for a refining crystal, and a shard for a gear recasting hammer. So I'm glad that they're giving us an opportunity to get more of these into our account, right? So we can make a gear better. We can get roll the hammer or roll the gear again to see if we can improve the substats on it. So eventually, hopefully, the economy to get these things keeps improving as the game evolves. Then on the daily sign-in after the 180 days, those of us that are still staying around after 180 days, they're going to change the psychic power and the legendary extract that is in there. They're going to change that from a 3-star to a 4-star. And instead of a legendary extract, we're going to get a mythic extract. They said they're going to improve the presentation of the team interface. That's fine. And they added exclusive gear for some more heroes. So as soon as that rolls out, what I'm going to try to do is get into the test server and start forging some stuff and see which ones to pop in. But I eventually will imagine that the data miners are going to be able to tell us exactly which ones they added to the game. Now let's go back to the major thing, which is Guild Wars. Now I have to be very specific about this, and it's saying here that for us, Guild Wars Season 6 will commence on 10/26. That is just around the corner. So essentially what it is going to be that week off, right, in period between Season 5 and 6 for us. And not only that, we'll get new maps to test out during that week. So it's a central keep in the defense tower map. We'll have, it's going to be different from the other ones that we have. So apparently they're not recycling. I welcome that. Eventually, I do hope that they bring it into not only a rotation, but that they give us the opportunity to eventually down the line say which map we want to use. Let us select our maps, and then we can actually build a defense based on the roster, based on which maps we think we can actually do better. The other thing that they're changing here, and I think that this might be due to the makeup of the map, might be a little bit longer, or there might be more turns. We'll see how they're constructed. But now instead, we're going to have 210 seconds to beat the defense instead of 180. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't think that this is going to be to give you an advantage to try to, to extend the battle, or you have an opportunity to take it. I just think that the design of the map actually required for this. Now, let me go to the major thing, the major point, and this is what it's really going to bring in a lot of discussion within the community, I think. If you all saw, one of the major things that we made emphasis on, especially the content creators here that were in Forerunners, and then eventually when this rolled out into global, everybody was focusing on this, the Gauntlet. After the season calculation, the top 32 guilds, at least here in Forerunners, will unlock the Gladiators Gauntlet. I think in global server it was a little bit more. I have to go log in and click on it, but I think it was more than 32 that we're going to be able to get into the Gauntlet. Now, when the patch notes released, I sent the question in is, I want to make sure that we get this straight. Is the Gauntlet going to open up and going to run concurrently with Season 6, or is the date wrong? Will the Gauntlet start 10/26 and then Season 6 will start? Well, Arturo's, you all know, my co-host from Wars Going On's podcast, also DM the content creator manager with the same inquisition, because we really do want to know, how is this going to work? Because think about it. If the Gauntlet and Season 6 are both going on at the same time, it's going to wear down the players. It's going to burn down the players. So we wanted to make sure that it was emphasized on whether it was going to run concurrently or there was something wrong with the date as to when Season 6 would actually start. To paraphrase the message that Arturo's received, it pretty much says, if it's not in this version's patch note, the content will not be available. That's just paraphrasing based on the response that Arturo's got. So unfortunately here for us here in Forerunners, this will not be available. The Gauntlet is not going to be available after Season 5. We're going to go straight into Season 6. It is disappointing because it was one of the features that we were really looking forward to see how it functioned. And in global, I bet you the some of the players, especially the ones that are really hardcore in this content, also wanted to see what the Gauntlet was going to be like, because everybody was playing for positions, trying to see how what the matchups would be and how you would be slotted in that. So I guess the content is not ready. That's why the lock remains here. This is our last season, or the last week here in Forerunners for this season, and we were curious as to when we're going to get details about it. And now we know it's because the content is not ready to launch. So sorry, folks. It appears that the Gauntlet will not be available this season. We're going to have to wait until Season 6. That'll do it for Forerunner News. If you have any questions or comments, please do post them below. Aside from that, please do hit like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you all in the next Watch Our Realms video.